when I joined, NTPC was sort of in a crossroad. Initially, what I could understand was that we had a commitment of 1,28,000 megawatts by 2032. How do we get there? We were about 32,000 megawatts at that time. To get there, we needed first to have enough PPAs, and the constraint was that by 5th January 2011, the restrictions had been put by the government for having negotiated PPAs by the state government with NTPC. So therefore, the first thing that went along was to have a great drive to sign PPAs, look at sites, talk to state governments, have PPAs. And I am so glad that 40,000 plus megawatts of PPAs were signed within that short period of 4 to 5 months. This is the strength of NTPC. It gave us the strength it gave me personally the strength to really understand that I have a dedicated team. I have a team which is willing to work with me the way I want it to work. I have a team which is willing to make the paradigm shift and which is willing to walk that extra mile that I wanted them to walk with me.
I'm Indrajit Kapoor. I joined NTPC as third batch ET since 1978. My association with Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary when he joined as chairman and managing director. That time NTPC had a lot of challenges. First, to achieve the targets set by the government for Commonwealth Games. His continuous efforts definitely steered NTPC to accomplish that, and rather NTPC got appreciation from all quarters. After that was the challenge of signing PPAs with these different state discoms. During the stint of 5 years, NTPC had a record capacity addition. This capacity addition has made us not only that when he joined NTPC, revenue stream was around 32,000 crore rupees in a year's time, in a financial year, and now it is in the last year, the dues which we have recovered from the different SEBs were tantamounting to 80,000 crores, a very, very massive amount. And even in the years to come, this is going to be multifold.
As we all know, the power sector is passing through a very crucial phase where the demand for more and more generation is there. At the same time, we have to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. NTPC, under the leadership of Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary in the last 5 years, has maintained its leadership position in coal as well as in the area of renewable. We are future ready. In the coming days, the emphasis is more and more on the efficiency improvement, climate change and the renewables. With the guidance and the direction which has been shown by the present leadership, we are sure to maintain our leadership position in future.
When Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary took over as CMD NTPC in September 2010, I was that time Regional Executive Director in Eastern Region 1, which is known to be toughest region across NTPC. The challenges of settling Kehelgaon, taking of Bard, the active support and cooperation we got from Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary during my Patna days was quite encouraging. Subsequently, in 2013 March, when I took over as Director HR in this big company, it was a tough challenge for me because we are almost having 20,000 plus workflows, having around 43,000 megawatt in operation, and the man megawatt ratio was roughly 0.63, which of course now has been which has been reduced to almost nearing 0.52. Lot of outstanding issues in HR which was prevailing for a couple of years was resolved, mostly on employee benefit and transparent transfer and promotion policy of the company, which has been largely uploaded by people across the station. All the welfare activities or all the policy matters of HR especially with respect to increasing the level of both way communication between employees and employer could be established. I have been getting all support from him for any new policy or new initiative which was taken during last 5 years.
The inspiring and visionary trainer of our chairman and managing director Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary has contributed in NTPC's giant leap towards actualization of its corporate vision of becoming a 128 gigawatt company by 2032. Some of the key highlights and achievements during his tenure include signing of PPAs for cumulative capacity of about 104 gigawatt before January 2011. We have added around 13,000 megawatt of new capacity during his tenure. Projects of cumulative capacity of over 19,000 megawatt have been awarded in last 5 years. Capex plans of NTPC have taken a quantum leap from over 12,000 crores in 2010-11 to almost 23,000 crores plus during the last fiscal. Also, the cumulative capex during his tenure has been over 100,000 crores in the last 5 years. We have also made a significant progress in the reduction of project costs. The experimentation of change of mode of project execution from multiple contracts to EPC mode has contributed in significant reduction of the project costs for North Karanpura and Khargone projects. We have worked out the plans for optimizing the use of resources for the new capacity creations, which include the optimization of the land, optimization of water and coal, and we have also experimented to a new technology in using air cooled condensers in North Karanpura project. We are confident the path set by our chairman will help us in actualizing our long term vision and goal of achieving the capacity of 128 gigawatt by year 2032.
I would like to express my gratitude to all the board members who have been attending board meetings since the last 5 years. I have also chaired 71 board meetings earlier to becoming chairman NTPC as chairman of NBCC, and I would be chairing the 67th board meeting as chairman NTPC today. I would like to put on record my sincere gratitude to all the members of the board. When I joined in 2010, I was asked by the then Secretary Power that I should call on the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet Secretary. And the brief given to me was, that is what I put it down on the slide. Now, the changes that we needed to do was a quantum thrust in the rate of capacity addition. We had to securitize the long-term growth, and that is what we did by signing PPAs of 100,000 megawatts before the end date of 5th January 2011. 42 to 43,000 megawatts was signed as fresh PPAs. There was also a complaint against us in competition commission by the IPPs, but we had done nothing wrong. We hadn't violated any rule. We had to focus on reduction of cost. Now, this was very important because we are coming under direct competition with the private sector. We had to actually make a long-term fuel security. We had to align the people's growth. We delegated powers at all levels. Actually, the stations and regions, which actually are the hub of the generation of power, they were given extensive powers. The stakeholders were taken into consideration. We made special efforts to take into consideration the external stakeholders, especially the land losers, the people who lived around our stations, those who lived in darkness around our stations. We looked at their requirements. We had to resolve a lot of entangled issues. The bulk tender was in litigation for almost 1 year. Barred with the Russians, we were having problem, although the cabinet had given special clearance to give them some more money. We had not yet resolved it through our board to release that money to them. Mining, we were having problems. We were trying to structure our mining on the lines of Coal India because we had a lot of differences between what they do. They were acquiring land under Mining Act. We were acquiring land under Land Acquisition Act. Hydro was sort of a talk of the town that we are not able to deliver any hydro. And we had a project in Bongaigaon in Assam, and there was huge pressure that we were not able to deliver. So what we did was we ensured that the corporate plan that we have of 1,28,000 was met by having PPA for over 100 gigawatts. And then we had thought of increasing the renewables, but what we did in the last year or so was not thought at that time. And this has been a total paradigm shift even on solar energy. And we also looked at acquisition of stranded assets. Now, the augmentation of fuel security was important. Coal India was not signing FSAs. We managed to get the FSAs signed for plants beyond 2009. We looked at direct coal import. Actually, MMTC and STC were importing for us. We managed to save considerable amount of money, almost 20% reduction in cost was in the first consignment from what MMTC and STC was doing. We looked at alternative mode of transportation in congested area of the railways, and thus the inland waterways for Farakka worked out. Now the Farakka can further go to Bar. Bar can further probably come to Meja, and we are looking at all this extension. And of course, there was the improvement of rail transport through customer funding method. It was important to reduce the cost, although the Chinese equipment are quality-wise not equivalent to what we buy. They don't fit our design requirements. But we looked at reducing our cost, and I must tell you that the layout, which was one of the things people were criticizing, our engineering department did a layout of almost 2,000 megawatts in a land of 550 acres. Now the old myth of CEA norms of 1.5 acres per megawatt brought down to 1 acre per megawatt has come down to almost 0.25 acres and megawatt. We adopted the EPC model of contract, and we got a tender for North Karanpura less than 4 crores per megawatt, and that too from BHEL. We went through a faster mode of project implementation, formed a revised responsibility matrix. The example of pushing of director projects is available in hydro. We've commissioned the hydro last year, all 4 units of 200, one after the other, within a span of 1 month. We control the great slippage of Coal India. So at one stage we could deduct almost 4,000 crores, pass on the benefits to the beneficiaries. Unfortunately, the beneficiaries did not pass on that 4,000 crores to the consumers. But this actually brought Coal India to some level of consciousness, and we could agree to put a third-party sampling, which is now helping to a great extent. We also did a sample of swapping of coal logistics and saved almost 160 crores of railway transportation by doing this sample logistics in Gujarat. We have also done a lot of work in leveraging for cheaper finances. The Director of Finance as his team actually has been working around as to how to leverage and get cheaper finance. We need money to match our capacity addition, but all the efforts that has been made in raising cheaper finance is going to help us in the long run. The investors' confidence needed to be improved, and that is what we have endeavored. All the directors together keep actually talking to the investors, and I am proud to say that in year 13, when they looked at an OFS, 11,500 crores were raised through OFS. 47% came from foreign investors. In the current year, we could do what is known as a bonus debenture, the only PSU which has done that, I think among private sectors also, among all companies in India. We did that, and we raised 10,307 crores. The rate is very attractive, it's 8 plus something. So this gives us an additional benefit also in our balance sheet by leveraging our debt equity ratio. And we could raise this. We are also looking at raising financial resources through tax-free bond, through MTN program to upgrade that 5 billion, and of course green bonds. I know as yet the green bonds does not have a special interest bracket. So, 300 crores of tax-free bond out of 1,000 has got 7.5 times oversubscribed. That just shows how much confidence NTPC has among the investors. Now, there are many important HR issues which has been resolved, but you can't run a company by trying to appease everybody. It cannot be done when you're running an administration. So we have put in a transparent policy which is totally web-based. There has been an effort by all the directors. Whenever they are going to the stations, they are meeting all the employees. They're talking to them, they're explaining to them what is happening in the sector, especially in their own discipline. A new pension policy has been put in place, which was a demand of the employees for a long time, and it was not getting through. So we put it in place. We put in a scheme which we call senior homes, which means anybody who is at a stage when he doesn't have a spouse or he cannot control himself, he has Alzheimer, he has something like that, we offer him a senior home. He can go there and live there. We try to create these homes within the environment of our stations. So these people go and live in places where they find the environment like what it was when they used to be in the company. What we've done is we've looked at the manpower optimization. We find that with the new generation which has come in today in the company, they would rather stay in big cities because their spouses are working, the children wants to go to bigger schools. So we have looked at the rota system. We have looked at a system where a person works in shifts for 5 months, he gets 1 month leave to go back to his family, then he comes back and works for 5 months, again in a shift, then again he goes back for a month. So he can maintain his family in the nearest town or in his hometown, and he can work here in the shift. We introduced a scheme called PUPS, Providing Urban Infrastructure at Projects and Stations. This we introduced for the young ETs, who we call them as PUPs. So they got Wi-Fi, they got a coffee shop, they got an outlet where they could sit in the evening and chat. We encourage our ETs to get married to each other so that they live in a station, they have a family life. The communication system has tremendously improved. There's a Meet CMD program, there's a Meet Director HR program, there's an open house. So the directors are mingling with the people, with the employees in an open house fashion. And there is what we know as a directors, your doorsteps. So the major achievements have been that we have done a PP of 104 gigawatts. Thus, we are not going to miss our corporate plan targets of 128 gigawatts by 2032, because the balance 24 gigawatts space is available on our existing stations. The government accepted various NTPC's proposals. Release of 25-year-old plant for PPA for bundling with solar. This has happened very recently. We are grateful to the government for having accepted that. The Singrauli plant, which generates electricity at 1 rupee 80 paisa, now gets bundled with the solar. So the solar that we offer is 3 rupees 20 paisa or so. It becomes extremely attractive. And this is not standalone for Singrauli, it's now a generic order. So once we do complete the solar, we can look at even bundling it with the costly power of NTPC at other places. Tariff policy is getting changed. The solar cell has been actually, the TPA has been agreed on that. It will be part of the TPA, so the sale will happen. Of course, now our price is coming so cheap that it will get sold in any case. So these the government has already processed for extension of TPA, which is a very important thing for NTPC at this stage. When I discussed this issue with the minister, I said, sir, we have two options. One is that we free NTPC of the regulatory regime. That means NTPC is no more under CERC. The bundle power of NTPC will be 3 rupees. I can sell the power to any beneficiary. They will line up and queue up to buy my power. Or if I have to remain within the regulatory regime, the TPA which is expiring next year needs to be extended. So the minister said he is extending it by another 15 years, and the ministry is processing accordingly. There is a total paradigm shift in capacity addition. Over 13 gigawatts are added in the last 5 years. This is 30% of the total capacity. If you add to this the 1200 megawatts of Raghunathpur and the 770 megawatts of Patratu, which has already come through in our kitty, it will be 15,000 plus in the last 5 years. Hydro and solars have been commissioned in the company. 19,169 megawatts award has been made, the work is in progress, and the capex has been doubled in the last 5 years from 10,000 crores to 23,300 crores.
I have the opportunity to work with Dr. Arup Chaudhary, our CMD, for last 1 year and 8 months. In fact, I met him in my interview for Director of Finance. What I find is a wonderful personality, having varied experience in the spectrum of railways, construction and power management. Dr. Rai Chaudhary has fired all the cylinders of energy, be it coal, be it electricity in the form of thermal energy, hydro energy or solar energy. But lot many fires are there in his belly, so it is not an end, just he has completed his tenures. Definitely he will add value wherever he goes in coming days, wherever organization he works in coming days.
Today we are 45,548 megawatt company having presence in hydro, solar and gas and thermal. Over a period of time, under the leadership of Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary, we have moved a lot. We have taken an initiative to ensure fuel security, for ensuring quantity and quality of the coal, such as third party sampling and integrated working with the coal company. We have taken an initiative in the field of solar and have a commitment of 10,000 megawatt plus 15,000 megawatt in different areas. Today, we have one of the best relations with the stakeholders. Our presence is respected in the country as a company which works on value system.
If you look at summing up the numbers, if you see what it was in 2010 and where we are in 2015 and what has been the percentage increase, I just want to leave this as a summing up or a balance sheet or a report card for the period in which I was the chairman of the company. I would like to also take you forward to the future growth perspective of the company. It is poised to achieve the corporate plan target of 2032. The current installed capacity is 45,548. 23 is under construction. 20 feasibility report is already there. We are looking at various issues like environmental clearance, land clearance and all. It can be awarded anytime. 15, the feasibility report is under preparation. We plan to develop 10,000 megawatts of solar power, and now with the pricing with Singrauli is becoming a very attractive to sell, so we will get PPAs very easily. We are looking at inorganic growth. We have signed JV with Patratu. We are about to sign a JV with DVC. We are also talking with MP and Rajasthan for taking over the projects over there. We need to focus on our market share. We are 25% today. Do we need to be 25% or grow beyond that? In that case, we have to really look at the corporate plan of the private sector companies and see where they are going. We have done that mission 92, which is Director Operations favorite mission. We want to actually run our plants at 95 and do a PLF of 92. And that can be done by bundling cheaper powers, by looking at how to reduce the cost, because our load center projects where the coal has to travel 15, 16, 1700 kilometers, the cost of power is high. Our fixed cost even now is for a new project is less than 1.5 rupees. For a depreciated project, it is much more. We must charter a clear career development of our employees. What we did as a career plan at one stage may not be relevant today because there's a generation difference between how we recruited 30 years, 25 years ago and what we recruit and what is the aspirations. The standard promotions that we give is no more motivating for them. So we have to create challenges and how we look at optimization of our manpower. And then we must increase our communication system. We do not have enough communication. The directors are doing active communication wherever they're going. I would urge all the executive directors, the general managers, the additional general managers to have open house once in a week in their respected areas, call the people, talk to them, try and understand everything. Finally, sir, I would like to thank all the directors who are sitting here on this board, especially my functional directors who've actually been struggling with me, and sometimes they have been at the butt of all my hard tasks. I consider myself to be a hard taskmaster, a person who's 24/7 on the job, a person who sets not only hard tasks for the directors but for myself. That is how, sir, I have survived almost 15 years as chairman of 2 PSUs, one a Navratna today and one a Maharatna. Thank you, sir. I am grateful for all your support.
To me, he has been a very, very friendly. He is a thorough gentleman, and I have learnt a lot through his many different personality traits. I think the most effective which I found was his hospitality. He is so much caring. He is a very good friend, and I wish him and his family a bright future, a healthy future.
I would like to wish Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary successful journey in his new area of responsibilities, contributing in a big way towards the sector, towards the growth of the public sector, and become one of the most respected dynamic leader in the country.
I take this opportunity to extend my best wishes to Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary and his family for in all his future endeavors, and peace, prosperity and good health in time to come.
I wish him a great future.
Since Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary will be relinquishing the charge on 1st of September 2015, I wish him all success in his future endeavors.
I wish Dr. Arup Rai Chaudhary and his family all success in all his new endeavors and a very nice second innings